Hello and welcome to session 5 of Python coding in Pictoblox interface. And in this session, we will be utilizing the human body detection extension of Pictoblox to achieve our aim. So in this session, we're developing a game called the Flappybird game. And just like the known Flappybird game, but in this case, we want to customize our own game and then be able to use our finger to play the game. Okay, so to get started, just as often, we will first of all switch to our Python coding interface. Okay, and now the next thing to do is to set up our background or backdrop and then to get the required sprites. So we'll be using 4 main sprites here. The first sprite will be our Flappybird. The second sprite will be a pipe. And then the third sprite will be a finishing line. So our bird is supposed to start at a point and then supposed to end at a point. Failure to get there means we have not succeeded. And we will have our pipes in between in our backdrop. So whenever our bird touches our pipes, then we lose. But if we are able to direct the bird through the pipes to get to the end, then we win. And then we'll program our software or our game so that it gives us an output, whether we've won or we've lost. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is to get the resources I just mentioned. And the resources, I already have them on my PC, so I will just upload them. So to upload the backdrop, I go to upload backdrop and then I search for the backdrop and open. So it's important. Okay, but we realize that our backdrop did not fill our stage. We want to get it occupy the whole stage. So we just resize it from this side. And to resize it, we select this whole structure. And then we can resize. Okay, so this is done. So we can switch back to Python. Okay, the next thing is we will not be requiring the default sprite on our stage. So we select it and delete it. And then we go to upload sprite. And then from my device, I will select the sprites I want to upload. So the Flappybird and the pipe and open. Okay, and they get uploaded. The next thing we can see is that the sizes of our sprites are too big and we would like to resize them in order for us to have a smooth game. So first of all, let's resize our pipe. So we just change the size here to, let's say, 30. 30 is too small, so let's change it to 40. Okay. And then we resize our Flappybird too. Our Flappybird can be left at 30. Let's see the size. Okay, the Flappybird can be left at 30 and then our pipe at 40. So once we are done with this, we'll bring in the last sprite later. But once we are done with the background, the setup, and the next thing to do is to start coding. So to start coding, so let's start coding so we will have to code for the Flappybird sprite and then code for the pipe sprite as well. So to start coding for our Flappybird sprite, we will need to set the starting point of our bird when the game starts. So we can manually adjust it to where we want the bird to start from, and then take those values as our starting point. So want our bird to start from this point, and those points, x-axis is -204 and y is 31. So we set there. We use sprite.set set x to set the y coordinates. To set the x coordinate, sorry, and the x coordinate is -204. And then sprite.set y, and y is 31. Okay, now the next thing to do is to load our body detection extension. And to load our body detection extension, we're using the PoseNet function to load this. And we will want to assign our body detection functions to a variable. And since we're using our finger to control the sprite, we'll be using our hand. So let's use hand. And we say hand is equal to PoseNet. So hand is equal to PoseNet. So we've loaded this particular line of code, will load our body detection extension. And the next thing we want to do is to turn on our video, and we simply just use the hand dot. Since we already have all our functions assigned to hand, we'll call the variable name, which is hand, and then dot video, and we want to turn on our video. So video on, comma, then 50. So the video on is to turn on our video, and the 50 is our transparency. In this case, we don't want the camera to focus on we the human being, so we want to make ourselves transparent, or want to fade away ourselves slightly, so that the system will be able to detect our hand when we raise it or when we show it to our camera. So we can use any transparency we want. We can use a higher transparency, and that will almost fade ourselves or fade my image out. But if I use 50, it's like half transparency, and then I will show, and then it will also be able to detect my hand. Now I want to enable my binding box. So I say hand.enable box. So it will enable the bounding box when the hand is detected. So when I'm done with this, I can go straight ahead to now give the conditions when my hand is detected on the stage. So the first thing I will want to do is to to put everything I will doing in a forever loop, so that continuously the whatever is inside the loop will run. So in forever loop, I'll use while true. So while true, I want to analyze everything I see on the stage. So I say hand.analyze hand. So I'm simply telling my system to analyze the hand on the stage. So once my hand is being shown to the camera, the system should analyze my hand. Okay. And then I now bring in my conditional statement. So I say if hand dot is hand detected. So if hand is detected, then I quickly want to locate the positions of a finger, which I'll be using to control my sprite. So I'll say sprite dot set X. Then I have hand position. So with the finger position I am going to deal with, it takes in two arguments. That is which coordinate I am dealing with, either X or Y. And by default, X is 1 and Y is 2. So the first thing I want to do is to check the X coordinate of the finger, which will be 1. And then the second thing is to check for the finger point of that particular finger. So the finger point of my thumb is 4. The finger point of the index finger is 8. The middle finger is 12. The ring finger is 16, and then the little finger is 20. So in this case, I want to use my middle finger to control my Flappybird. So I put the finger point of that there, which is 12. Then I do same for my Y coordinate. So sprite dot set Y, then hand dot analyze hand position, then Y will be 2 and the same finger point, which is 12. Okay, so at this point, I am done scripting for my Flappybird, and so I'll continue my script for my pipe. So click on the pipe sprite, and then the pipe scripting area opens up for me. Okay, so in this code, I will need the time function. So first of all, I want to import time. I want to import time. And then I want to define a function where I will put my script in. And we use the keyword def, DEF, for define. So I want to define a function, and I want to name that function slide. Okay, now I have my function, so I am good to start scripting in this function. So first of all, I want to set the initial position of my sprite. So once again, I manually position my sprite at where I want it to be, and then I check the position for it. So I want my sprite to be here. I want my sprite to be here. And I want to set, so the position will be X to be negative 166 and Y to be negative 103. Okay. I think I should really don't know. I think it's fine here. It's fine here. Okay, so negative. So first of all, I use the sprite.goTo function. So that means anytime my code is starting to run, that means my pipe is supposed to be at this point. So sprite.goTo X, Y. Then I'm setting my X to be -168. And then my Y to be -107. Okay, after I do this, I want to take a pause. So I use time.sleep function to take a pause. So time.sleep, and I want to pause for 1 second. And then after my pause, I want to change the height of my sprite. And changing the height, my X position remains the same, but my Y position will be increased. So sprite dot and go to XY. And then my X position remains -168. And then my Y position goes to -90. Okay. And then after I do this again, I want to pause for another minute. So time.sleep, sorry, another second, 1. Okay. So at this point now, I want to check and see, whilst the height of my sprite is moving up and down, I want to check and see if my Flappybird is touching my pipe or not. And I will put this in a forever loop. So while true, then I want to check if my sprite is touching the Flappybird. So if it is touching the Flappybird, I want my sprite to say, sorry, try again. And then after that, I will break my code. And then I expect my sprite to keep on sliding. Okay, so this is also complete for my height. Now I want to quickly run this and see how this works. So just for the pipe, so this is not running. I guess I will have to load the extensions before. Okay. So I stopped running again. Um, okay. So I actually have a problem loading my models. Anytime I try, I'm told I can't load my models, and it's been a challenge. I don't know why, if it is on my version of Pictoblox, but it's really been a challenge. Okay, so can go ahead and code for the rest, and then I'll quickly turn off my camera manually. Okay, so I will need 5 pipes to complete my project. So I just click on the first pipe, right click and duplicate. And then I change, first of all, I want to change the direction of my pipe. So I want to turn it upside down. Okay. And then I want to change its position as well. So I want to leave my second pipe here. So the positions coordinates are -45 and -43. So I will have to edit here. And then from here, I want to change it in the y direction, and I want it to go down. So for it to go down, that means I will have to decrease the y coordinate. So from -90, from -43, let's make it -30. Okay, so that is all for pipe 2. Then I want to duplicate for pipe 3, and I want pipe 3 to be at the same exposition as pipe 1. So I can use the same exposition, and then I'll go ahead and okay, so I can use the same positions. So 107. So I can just use this, and then now let me duplicate pipe 2 for pipe 4. So for pipe 4, okay, this is not at the same, pipe 3 will not be at the same exposition as pipe 1. So this position, the X will be 31. The Y position will be the same. So 31, and then 31. By Y position remain the same. Okay, now pipe 4, I want to set it at the same position, the same Y position as pipe 2, but different X position. So X here is 93. Y remains the same. And then I will want to change this Y. I will let it remain the same, but X goes to 93, but Y remains the same. Now finally, I will duplicate pipe 1 again for my pipe 5. But I want pipe 5 to be here. And then pipe 5, I will use 166 for X. And then I'll use 136 for Y. And then, sorry, this 166 remains. And this becomes -120. Okay, so I have my pipes 2 ready. Now I want to run my code again and see what I will get. Okay, so because my models couldn't load, my program is not able to detect if my Flappybird is touching my pipe. But should the program or the extension load successfully, then this detection will be seen, but my extension did not load successfully. So I'm unable to detect if I do touch the pipe. Okay, so I'll turn off, I'll stop this. Turn off my camera and then get the last part of this program. So the final sprite, we want to add a finishing line, which will notify us if we have ended the game. So we look for a line among our sprites. So we have line, and then just as we did for this, the two pipes up here, we want to change the direction of our line. So we want to make it straight. Okay, so we have that, and then we'll put it at the end of our game. So we put it here, and we want to code for our sprite as well. So first of all, we want to, okay, first of all, we will call our extension, which is hand, our hand variable, which is equal to our human body detection extension postnet. And then after that, we can go ahead and check our condition. So we'll use the conditional statement if. Then we want to check if our sprite is touching. So we want to check if the finishing line is touching the sprite Flappybird. And if it is, we want to turn off our video. So hand.video off. And after that, sorry, there is an indentation here. If we don't get it right, we'll have errors. Then want our sprite to save. Congratulations, you won. Okay, so this is the final code for our final sprite. So we can go ahead and run all and see how it works. But once again, because I could not load all my models, I've been having this challenge for quite some time. And so because I could not load all my models, my pipe sprite is not able to detect the Flappybird. So if I run, you realize that the Flappybird will go back to its original starting point. Okay, so we can see that our Flappybird has returned to its original starting point. But then it detected my hand. I don't know how it did that, but it's detecting a hand. I really don't know where the hand is coming from because my hands are totally down. My hands are not showing, but it's detecting my hand. Okay, I guess it's my outfit. Okay, so it sees that as a hand. Okay, so this is my hand now. Then it realize that it follows my middle finger. So I was expecting that when I touch here, then I get an error message and then it returns, but that is not working. And then the congratulatory message too, it's not able to detect. So that is a challenge I am facing, but if all things work right for you as you watch this video, then your code should run and you should get all notifications. Thank you.